David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. An armed man ramming a truck into one of America's largest synagogues. Also tonight, a deadly campus shooting. ROTC students and a teacher targeted. Authorities say a possible act of terrorism. And just in tonight, the U.S. military now saying an American refueling aircraft has gone down in Iraq. First tonight, the chilling scene at a synagogue outside Detroit. A truck smashing through the front doors of Temple Israel. Sources telling ABC News tonight the driver was armed with a rifle. Security opening fire. 140 children inside at a preschool. Also tonight, the horrific deadly shooting on campus at Old Dominion University in Virginia. Tonight now being investigated as a possible terror attack. Sources say the gunman walked into a classroom and what he asked before opening fire. Authorities tonight say the gunman had ties to ISIS. The war in Iran tonight, just moments ago, the Pentagon now reporting a U.S. refueling aircraft has gone down in Iraq. The rescue effort now underway. It comes as Iran escalates attacks on oil tankers and oil facilities. A vessel consumed by flames. And tonight, the first public statement claiming to be from the new supreme leader. What he is vowing Iran will do as oil and gas prices surge. Ian Panel from the region again tonight. Also this evening, tracking back-to-back winter storms sweeping into the Northeast. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Tonight, the FBI searching for a missing retired Air Force Major General vanishing from his home nearly 2 weeks ago now. They say he held some of the most sensitive jobs. An unruly passenger on board a flight from Miami to Denver, the violent altercation with an off-duty police officer. The goal of a lifetime, the high school hockey player scoring the game-winning goal, his personal triumph over unimaginable tragedy. And in New York City tonight, remembering a longtime news anchor with deep roots in New York.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight with several breaking stories as we come on the air. Just moments ago, the Pentagon reporting an American refueling aircraft has gone down in Iraq. The rescue effort now underway. Also, the deadly shooting on an American campus now being investigated tonight as a possible terror attack. ROTC students and a teacher targeted what the gunman allegedly asked in that classroom. But we begin tonight here with the horrific scene unfolding at one of the largest synagogues in the U.S. Authorities say a driver rammed his truck through the barricades and smashed through the front door of Temple Israel just outside Detroit. Smoke could be seen coming from the building. Sources telling ABC News the driver was armed with a rifle. The Oakland County Sheriff says armed security opened fire, the suspect's truck bursting into flames. 140 children among those inside at a preschool, the race to get the children out. The attacker is dead. Tonight, investigators are now trying to determine a possible motive. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off. He's on the ground in Michigan tonight.
Tonight, terror in Michigan, smoke pouring from the roof of one of the nation's largest synagogues after an armed man in a truck steered around the security barricades and plowed right through the front doors. It happened just after noon. Police racing to Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, the nation's largest Reformed Jewish congregation and home to a preschool, 140 little kids inside when the chaos unfolded. The truck slamming through a set of doors and driving straight down the hall.
He breached the building, drove down the hall, and he was engaged by security.
Dustin Shaw was working in the synagogue when he heard the crash.
I saw someone lying on the ground, and that person happened to be one of the head of security who got hit by the car. And then after that, I heard gunshots, bang, 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 bang. And I believe it was obviously one of our security officers.
Police say the synagogue's security guards fired on the truck, which burst into flames. Thick smoke streaming from the building past a playground just outside. Reporter Jolie Sherman from our local station WXYZ on the scene.
Just this massive police presence here in West Bloomfield. On my way here, there were just dozens of police vehicles from various law enforcement agencies.
Police wearing gas masks, finding the driver dead in the burning truck. Sources tell us he was armed with a rifle. Amid all the smoke and sirens, authorities wondering, did he act alone or was someone else involved? The community going into lockdown, neighbors told to shelter in place. But at the synagogue, a scene of panic. Rabbi Jennifer Kaluzny witnessing car upon car of frantic parents.
We started comforting parents who were running from all directions trying to get their children. And some of them were obviously panicking to the point that it's a good thing someone was there waiting for them to literally hold up. And the cars just kept coming.
Then, roughly 2 hours after the chaos unfolded, the welcomed news. The danger had passed, and everyone inside the synagogue had been accounted for.
No kids, this is the important thing, no kids or no staff was injured whatsoever.
Finally, parents able to collect their children, pushing babies in strollers, one toddler swaddled in a sleep sack.
My God, I never thought I'd be standing here looking at my temple, surrounded by SWAT and FBI, and going out into the parking lot and grabbing babies to bring them to their parents. Never.
And David, authorities have not yet identified the attacker, and they're still working to pinpoint an exact motive. A security guard was knocked unconscious, but he is expected to be okay. About 30 first responders were treated at area hospitals. Authorities hailing all of those people tonight as heroes. David?
After a terrifying scene there. Alex Perez in Michigan for us. Thank you. Also breaking tonight, the deadly shooting on campus at Old Dominion University in Virginia. Tonight, authorities are now investigating the shooting as a possible terror attack. Sources say the gunman walked into a classroom, asked if it was an ROTC class, and then opened fire. Authorities say the gunman has ties to ISIS. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Showing up to ODU, 20 cop cars just went by.
Tonight, terror on the campus of Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, with members of the school's ROTC program targeted by a suspect with ties to ISIS.
Active shooter on the ODU campus. You got cops running across. The entire police force of Norfolk is here.
It was just before 11 a.m. Police swarming the campus moments after a gunman opened fire in a classroom.
All of a sudden, we heard a commotion. A lot of people rumbling, starting to get up. We started running, and that's when we heard gunshots.
The suspect has been identified by the FBI as 36-year-old Mohammed Jallow, a former member of the Virginia National Guard. Sources tell ABC News he calmly walked into the classroom, asked if it was an ROTC class, and then shot the instructor several times, and 2 students who were wounded. The instructor later died.
We have confirmed reports that prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted, stated Allah Akbar.
And all of a sudden I hear just a bunch of bodies hitting each other, this loud altercation. And there's just a person in a tan coat curled up on the ground with their backpack on in front of the Starbucks, just laying there.
Tonight, FBI Director Kash Patel posting. The shooter is now deceased thanks to a group of brave students who stepped in and subdued him.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot?
He was not shot.
Jallow was convicted in 2016 of attempting to provide material support to ISIS for trying to acquire weapons for an attack on U.S. soil. He served 8 years of an 11-year prison sentence and was released in 2024. David, Jallow was under a 5-year supervised release in which he was to check in with his probation officer regularly. And he was also subject to having his internet activity reviewed. But tonight, so many questions, including how a convicted felon got a gun and whether he had recently been under surveillance. David?
Yeah, major questions moving forward here, Pierre. Thank you. All of this leading to a heightened level of alert in this country. Let's get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, tonight. Aaron?
From the moment the U.S. launched missiles on Iran, David, we've been hearing concerns from law enforcement officials about possible violence here at home. And the response to the incidents today, those images just say it all. The massive police response to the vehicle ramming at the synagogue in Michigan and police swarming the campus of Old Dominion University. Before that, 2 teens charged with bringing homemade bombs to the mayor's residence here in New York City, and a mass shooting targeting a bar in Austin, Texas. And David, we reported here 24 hours ago the FBI quietly sent an alert in recent days about Iran's potential aspirations to retaliate with attack drones at unspecified targets in California. The FBI going public with that alert today. clarifying that the intelligence underpinning it was unverified. Still, California Governor Newsom and police in the state took it seriously, and tonight police across the country are stepping up patrols, particularly outside synagogues and other locations that are tied to the Jewish community. David?
Aaron Katersky back with us tonight. Aaron, thank you. Now to the war in Iran. Just moments ago, the Pentagon reporting a U.S. refueling aircraft has gone down in Iraq. The rescue effort now underway tonight. And it comes as Iran escalates attacks on oil tankers and oil facilities. And this evening, the first public statement claiming to be from the new supreme leader, what he's vowing Iran will do as oil and gas prices surge. Ian Pannell from the region again tonight for us.
Tonight, the urgent rescue underway after a military refueling aircraft crashed in western Iraq. The Pentagon says 2 KC-135 refueling tankers were involved, one going down, the second landing safely. That plane would have had a minimum of 3 crew members on board, and there are no ejection seats. Officials say this wasn't due to hostile or friendly fire. The investigation ongoing. It comes as Iran's new supreme leader with a message, making it clear they'll keep targeting the world's oil supply. These oil tankers coming under attack off the coast of Iraq. Explosions and flames lighting up the night sky. Iran releasing dramatic new video showing the moment the oil tanker in the port of Basra, Iraq was hit. Come! The crew jumping ship to escape the inferno. Video circulating online, at least 1 person killed. And tonight, in his first public comments as Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, who took power after his father was assassinated, declaring war on the global oil supply. Vowing that Iran will keep blocking the critical Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil passes through. The new supreme leader, who Israeli sources say suffered leg and facial injuries in an attack on the first day of the war, still hasn't been seen since he was named the new leader. Tonight, Iranian state TV reading a statement. It says it's from Khamenei, vowing to continue the effective and punishing defense, adding blocking the Strait of Hormuz must certainly continue to be used. Iran attacking at least 6 ships and multiple oil facilities across the region in just the last 24 hours. In Oman, you can see the Iranian drone in midair and the nosedive into an oil tank in online video. Our James Longman in Erbil, Iraq, amid an incoming drone strike.
And that's another drone attack right over Erbil. We should hear it any minute. In just the last few minutes, we've seen at least 3 of those come overhead here. That's missile interceptors taking drones out of the sky.
And tonight, global oil prices surging again, topping more than $100 per barrel today, with gas prices in the US up nearly 70 cents a gallon since the start of the war. Prices rising after President Trump said today stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon is of far greater interest and importance to me as president than oil prices. Tonight, with oil prices surging, the president looking to ease concern at home. Overnight in Kentucky, the president declaring this about the war in Iran.
We've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over.
And late today, the president saying this.
The situation with Iran is moving along very rapidly. It's doing very well. Our military is unsurpassed. There's never been anything like it. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
The president suggested the U.S. Navy will escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary. And he's urged crews on tankers to have some guts to push through the Strait of Hormuz despite the obvious dangers. Tonight, Energy Secretary Chris Wright saying the U.S. naval escorts likely won't happen until at least the end of this month.
It can't happen now. We're simply not ready. All of our military assets right now are focused on destroying Iran's offensive capabilities and the manufacturing industry that supplies their offensive capabilities.
Tonight, the U.S. unleashing a massive aerial assault on Iran, destroying warplanes. Iran saying the death toll soaring above 1,000. David, CENTCOM stressing this aircraft didn't go down because of hostile fire or friendly fire, but an urgent investigation now underway. David?
Ian Pannell from Tel Aviv for us again tonight. Ian, thank you. The other news this evening, we're tracking back-to-back winter storms sweeping into the Northeast. That warm-up didn't last long. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from WABC. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David, 82, a record high in Newark, New Jersey yesterday, 30s and light snow today. About an inch of snow in the D.C. area. That snow is now exiting the area. A new winter storm from the Rockies to the northern plains. High winds in Colorado all the way to western New York. Fire danger in the plains and blizzard conditions in the upper Midwest. Let's time it. The snow's heavy from Minnesota to Green Bay tonight. Whiteout conditions possible into tomorrow on the Great Lakes. Gusts past 50. The snow reaches western New York and New England tomorrow afternoon and evening. Up to a foot of snow in spots. We'll have another storm on Sunday that could bring more heavy snow and a round of severe weather. That severe weather could reach the I-95 corridor on Monday. David?
Lee Goldberg, winter not giving up easily. Thank you. Next tonight here, the urgent search for a missing retired Air Force Major General in New Mexico. His family says he disappeared nearly 2 weeks ago now. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, the urgent search after the mysterious disappearance of a retired Major General who once commanded the Air Force Research Laboratory overseeing cutting-edge technology. Authorities say 68-year-old William McCaslin left his New Mexico home nearly 2 weeks ago and hasn't been seen since. Authorities say McCaslin likely left on foot, leaving his cell phone behind, and they're concerned for his safety because of unspecified medical issues. Late today, authorities released this photo of McCaslin, saying he may have been wearing the same green shirt when he vanished. They say his hiking boots, wallet, and a revolver with a leather holster were also missing from the home. Over the weekend, search and rescue teams, along with the FBI, returned to trails McCaslin hiked near his home. They say a shirt was found there, but it's not clear whether it belonged to him. Before his retirement in 2013, Major General McCaslin held some of the most sensitive positions in the military, working on space research and reconnaissance, and he later worked briefly as an unpaid consultant for a group researching UFOs.
David, police say so far there's no signs of foul play. They are asking for the public's help to try to find him.
David? Trevor Ault with us tonight here. Trevor, thank you. When we come back, remembering a longtime beloved news anchor with deep roots in New York City. Also ahead, chaos on board a passenger jet, an unruly passenger in a confrontation with an off-duty officer, and you'll see it right here. An SUV appearing airborne over this busy intersection, the remarkable scene. And stay tuned, the goal of a lifetime tonight for a high school hockey hero, the game-winning goal after unimaginable tragedy. Will Reeve is here with that story. Don't go away tonight. Tonight, an airline passenger arrested on board a Southwest flight after a confrontation with an off-duty officer. Authorities say Marcial Martinez became disruptive while boarding the flight from Miami to Denver. The officer intervening, a scuffle ensued, arriving officers taking him down, charged with battery and disorderly intoxication. Tonight, an SUV going airborne across a busy intersection. This happened in White Plains, New York, somehow avoiding all traffic and narrowly missing pedestrians before slamming into a restaurant. The driver, reportedly 80 years old, not seriously hurt. When we come back here tonight, remembering a longtime beloved news anchor and the high school hockey player, you have to see this goal and why it was such a triumph in a moment. Tonight here, we remember a longtime news anchor with deep roots in New York City. Ernie Anastos spent 11 years at the anchor desk at WABC here in New York, beginning in the late 70s before working at several other networks. A beloved presence for nearly 50 years in the tri-state area, multiple Emmy Awards, including the prestigious Lifetime Emmy Award. Ernie Anastos was 82. Look at that smile. When we come back tonight, the high school hockey hero and why the crowd went wild. You'll see it. Finally tonight, America Strong, the goal of a lifetime for a high school hockey hero. Here's Will Reeve.
Tonight in Providence, Rhode Island, the high school hockey player, his game-winning goal in double overtime, and his triumph after unimaginable tragedy. Blackstone Valley School's senior Colin Dorgan, number 17. Nearly a month ago, Colin's mother, brother, and grandfather were killed at his hockey game, targeted by a former family member. His team, his community, rallying behind Colin. And now, 3 weeks later, they're back on the ice. Their jerseys stitched with a heart with the initials of the victims. It's double overtime in their Division II state semifinal game. And here's Colin all alone. His school behind the glass, on their feet, cheering for him. The announcers recognizing the moment.
Nothing will ever change what happened to that young man, but there's a moment for him that he'll never forget.
Afterward, Colin calling it the greatest moment of his life, so soon after the worst. Tonight, Colin Dorgan sending his team to the state championship game, saying he could feel the love from every person out there in the arena.
Well, we are all cheering Colin on. Good luck to the team. I'm David Muir. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.